Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Scott, welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Out of Her Mind, which is a new BBC comedy starring Sara Pascoe and also created by Sara Pascoe. And it's basically about Sara Pascoe playing herself in her imaginary world almost. I wouldn't say it's it's set in the real world, but as it goes on, it's got lots of imaginary elements, and it's about her trying to find her way through her mind almost. There's two elements to this series, but one is her going through ordinary life, interacting with her family and her friends, of which she has various issues with her past love life and her current love life and her friends, her immediate family, which is her mother and a sister, who also have their own things going on. And the second element is that she does this fourth wall breaking thing where she's in a room by herself and she talks directly to the camera. A bit like Fleabag, but in Fleabag she does it during a scene. But in this, she cuts immediately to another room. It's a completely different scene, and she's there in a room by herself talking to the camera. She doesn't do it while interacting with other people. It's only in this room by herself. The series consists of 6 episodes, each about 30 minutes long, like most British comedies, on the BBC. The cast includes Sara Pascoe, obviously. It also includes Cariad Lloyd, who plays her pregnant best friend, who is a surgeon of some sort. I can't remember what, but she's very good in this. She's, if you don't know who Cariad Lloyd is, she's another comedian, probably not as well known as Sara Pascoe. I couldn't describe what type of comedy she does, but I feel like it's around the same type as Sara Pascoe. I wouldn't definitively say that because I haven't really seen her very often, but I have seen her do stand-up a couple of times on TV. But I would say her comedy is roughly the same. But she's very good. Juliet Stevenson plays her mother, which I didn't think she was particularly great. But I don't really know who Juliet Stevenson is. I haven't seen anything else that she's done, so I couldn't say if she was good or bad in this. But I would definitely say she's one of the weaker characters in this series. Her sister's played by Fiona Button, who is probably best known for playing one of the 3 sisters in the TV series The Split, of which I watched recently, and it was good. I would recommend that. Jack Gleeson also makes an appearance, but it's such a small appearance that I barely noticed he was there. For anyone who doesn't know who Jack Gleeson is, which I did not, I had to look it up, he is the guy from Game of Thrones. He plays the shit king, the child king. But I didn't know his name, but loads of people made a big deal about the fact that he was in this series, of which I thought, I don't know who this is. And then when I looked it up, I realised, oh yeah, it's that guy. And then thought, who was he in this series? Because he's in such a small role, it just goes by so quickly. And I'm not going to spoil the role because it plays a part in the main plot, which if I said who he was playing, it would probably spoil. Something else I discovered when I did a dig into the TV show after I had watched it is that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost produced the show. I don't know if that's them directly or their production company, but I didn't even know they had a TV production company. Anyway, this show is basically okay. It varies in quality. There are 6 episodes, and each episode is 30 minutes, and I would say 3 of the episodes are very, very good. I was in stitches listening to some of the jokes in this. And then 3 of the episodes are really bad. Like, they're just very unfunny. And it seems to me the quality is either incredibly funny or it's dreadfully unfunny, which is a shame because it has great potential. A lot of the show is, again, based on Sara Pascoe's stand-up routine, of which is mainly based on sex and relationships and gender politics and how we look at ourselves as people, but mainly women, because obviously she's a female comedian, and most of the comedy is based around that whole idea of womanhood. I don't know if that's the right word. I'll probably get some shit for that, but that's what this is. It's her stand-up in a sitcom. There are a lot of weird and wacky elements in this series, of which again are very funny or very unfunny. They drift between the two. They're never like in the middle. There's times when I was like, there's nothing happening because it was so slow and boring. But then other times in other episodes, I was in hysterics watching some of this stuff. And I'm not going to... Again, I don't want to spoil the jokes. I'm not going to describe them because I couldn't think of them anyways. But a lot of them are to just do with what she's imagining. A lot of the stuff is her imagining things. Or playing out dream sequences or something like that. Which again, either work or they do not work. It's never like somewhere in the middle. Saying that, the jokes, for the most part, are fine, but the ones that really do fall flat are the ones that are heavily based around dark thoughts. Like, there's some good jokes about gender politics, but then there's some jokes about abortion, of which I would say I didn't find funny, of which I've got nothing against abortion, but they're just not funny. And there's lots of little topics like that where I just didn't find any of them funny. And then there's points in the show where it's just like, it almost goes to the point where you think, is this supposed to be funny? Because there'll be areas of 2 or 3 minutes where there isn't a single laugh or a single joke at all. It's just really depressing at times. I would definitely say that those times are in those 3 episodes that I would say aren't as good. I can't think which episodes were good and which ones were bad. You'll just have to watch it to find out. But I could definitively say 3 of them are not good and 3 of them are very good. So overall, I would say this series is fine. It's maybe like a 6, possibly a 7. If you really like Sara Pascoe as a comedian, I would say you will really like this. I would say if you don't really know who she is, maybe give it a go. And if you are not a fan of Sara Pascoe's comedy, I would probably say maybe look at some other reviews, maybe watch the first episode, which I would say the first episode is probably the best, actually, now thinking about it. But yeah, overall, it's funny at times, and when it is funny, it's very funny. And then when it's not funny, it's dreadfully unfunny. The weird and wacky stuff sometimes lands and sometimes does not. There's lots of good jokes, but then there's also lots of jokes about certain topics which don't land and they're not funny. And there's lots of stretches where there's just no comedy whatsoever. Would say that it might be good enough for a second series, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't renewed for another, because again, it's half and half. It's 50-50 on the comedy in this one. But if they did release another series, I probably would watch it. I'm the type of person who would just watch something until it gets cancelled. But anyways, that's what I think. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you liked it. And until next time, bye-bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.